It is obvious there is no green pasture in America nor Europe, not in Australia, you name it. As Africans, the greenest of pasture is in Africa, the motherland, where Europe and America, others, have been plunging for decades, beginning from slavery, colonization, contemporary exploitation, you name it, the divide and conquer, the indoctrination, the use of the Bible, a God they introduce that they do not believe in, when they want to take from you, when they want to destroy you, when they want to connive within themselves to take everything that is good that you have, including your loved ones, including your family, including your neighborhood, including your community, including your Africa that they destroyed and partitioned just for them to continue to succeed. And then they bring us, they give us a sort of what they call olive branch so we can, immigrate to America, immigrate to Europe and all of these places. Of course, currently, a lot of our brothers and sisters are dying in the ocean trying to cross to Europe when Africa is the real shit. Africa is the real thing. I just do not understand that. All right? And so if we Africans cannot use this opportunity, which Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea have shown us, and what Dr. William Ruto of Kenya, the Kenyan president, is doing, the South African Prime Minister, the lady Pandor, and you name them, President Kagame, of Rwanda, except those in Nigeria that claims to be the giant of Africa, but giant in not in maybe scam and you name it, corruption of the highest of places, except Nigeria and places like Ghana, those places where they are not really talking about African unity. I mean, if we Africans cannot seize this opportunity to unite and help Niger Republic and help these countries which have decided to come together to form a bloc, to show solidarity, to show unity, to show strength. If we cannot seize this opportunity to chase these imperialists out, then the fault will be ours. We cannot continue to blame Europeans, blame Americans from decade after decade, and we have the opportunity. All right? It is obvious our so-called leaders, rulers, of course, politicians, as corrupt and criminal as they are, they have failed the continent woefully, especially the ones who have decided to become Western puppets. They have failed us. But as it is shown in the Niger Republic, how the Niger people have come together to say this is what we want, this is our self-determination, a word or phrase, whatever you call it, that America and the rest of the West espouse, but they don't wish Africa, have it. They wish it and design it and protect it only for themselves, but not for anyone else. Anyone who try to raise their head, America and the rest of the West, they see that person, see that country as a threat. Why? What kind of democracy is that? that no other person can grow but you. That's wickedness. That's evil. Okay? That's evil. So it is high time Africans see the sign of the time. We've been talking about African unity. We've been talking about Africa is rising. We've been talking about African renaissance, and you name it. Dr. William Ruto has been standing and amazing the world by showing that Africa doesn't lack the brain, that we don't lack the intellectual capacity, that we understand how the world works, and we are part of the solution, especially where we have most of what the world is going crazy about, what they've been dividing us for years, what they've been killing and destroying us for, what they've been plotting and executing coups using African proxies, happen to be African rulers and all of that, whether it is military or it is civilian. Okay? We have everything that is making the world work, everything that is making the world great. We have it. But we Africans, we are at the bottom of bottom. Right? We run around the world looking for what is not green. Okay? And they are stealing from us. Just look at how they were running from Niger. Look at how Europeans were running from Niger. Look at how many people were leaving. So while they are tricking us Africans to leave Africa and come to America to continue to fuel the current slavery, the exploitation, and same in Europe, tons of Europeans are in Africa milking us, setting up companies, NGOs, you name it, and they are milking us. Same with Americans, and by America I mean European Americans as well, because it is the same problem with my brothers and sisters who are African Americans. The Europeans have so indoctrinated us that we don't see Africa as a place that we can build and stay and be happy and succeed. And so those who are there are mostly Europeans, white, so to speak, just like they call us black, and we are not black. We are in black, they are in white. All right? We are Africans. It doesn't matter where you are in this world. They are Europeans. Whether they are in America, whether they are in Canada, whether they are in Australia, whether they are in the UK, whether they are in the continent of Europe, you name it. Africans, our foreparents, our forebears, started this world, this experiment, this reality. So-called democracy is not new. It's just that it's the English term of what we've been practicing forever at home. And the new caveat is that it is by election. Government of the people comes in so many ways. It comes by way of election, which is what we have now, they call democracy. It comes by way of, kings and queens in the old times in Africa, where the kings and queens of Africa were recognized by their people, were put on the stool by their people, and they lived, they walked, they defended the integrity of their people. They defended and built and made provisions for their people. There is no evidence that when kings and queens were in action, in operation, that there was no food in Africa. Even The Europeans that came to trade with Africa. And subsequently, very many of them claim, oh, we were in caves or we were in this when we started the civilization of the world. You cannot trade with this organization. That was even before slavery. It was something the Europeans saw and liked that was in the African system that made them envious. And since then, they've been continuously on our neck. They've been continuously scheming, strategizing, balkanizing, destroying, indoctrinating, bribing us, you name it. Why would Africans be comfortable in America, in Europe, where they are now with their families? And of course, I'm one of them. And that's why I'm crying out, because it's a fraud. Yeah, some of us may have made some money. Some of us may have been able to build houses at home. But there are people at home who are also building houses, and they are not in America. Okay? So it's a fraud. They made us leave our pride at home and come to fuel their economy. Imagine if all Africans leave America or Europe and go back home. Maybe other people go to their own places. Tell me who will work in these economies, this system, and grow it. There is no America without people coming from all parts of the world. In short, America, of course, can be said to be the world because people come from all walks of life, come with their talent. Some people even come with their money. And when people come and they have children, their children take the same bloodstream, the same blood lineage, and then with, some of the easy means of studying and all of that here, including their multiple choice, mostly what we call OBJ back at home, our African children do better. A lot of us who have had educational experience at home, we do and did better. Okay? I mean, traveling to America or to Europe would have just been for visit. If we are the one who have what the world is going crazy for. But mismanagement, lack of vision, right? Bad, not even poor leadership, bad leadership, bad and very criminal leadership for the most part. And that's what the West saw and they use against us. They use us against ourselves. It's not like Europeans are not or cannot be used against themselves. But when it comes to using the black man against the black man, using an African against an African, using an African woman against an African man, or vice versa, it is easy and cheap. Because quite a great deal of us don't even know who we are. We don't know what we stand for. So we fall for any and everything. We cannot even speak up for ourselves. Not to talk of pointing out what's wrong in the community. So, if we Africans cannot seize this moment in Africa and turn things around by chasing these Westerners out, yet open to doing business with them, but only as equals, not in their terms. But in our times, if we have the resources, if we cannot seize the moment, then we must stop blaming the West. We must stop blaming America and Europe. We must stop blaming any other country or any other person or group, but blame ourselves. That is my talk of the day. Thank you. Ben Wuloikari.